I want to talk about choices. One of the important things to me about when designing the game was for the player to, for especially for a solitary game, was for the player to have some input other than rolling the die or drawing cards. I want them to have choices to make that affect the game. So this is the setup for the last turn, last combat round of a game I was just playing, and so my ace pilot here, who's a gondola, so he has the strongest firepower, has freedom of action because he's the highest aircraft. So I had several choices here. He could attack this pilot, or with freedom of action, he can attack anyone. So this fighter's got 9 damage, and these 3 IL-2s. This one is on its undamaged side. The other 2 are damaged. So, but the problem here is my airfield is sitting with 12 damage. You get -1 to your landing roll for every 4 damage. So I'm currently sitting at -3, which is pretty bad. Because if the runway's bombed up, and the guys try to land and they crash, good chances are it's going to destroy the aircraft and kill the pilot. 2 things we don't want to happen. So I was left with the choice. So I also have critical moments, fate card that I can use, which allows me to re-roll a damage check die roll of 1 that flips an aircraft to its damaged side with a -1 die roll modifier. So for my aces or my guys that aren't undamaged, it allows them the chance to save themselves. I've also got pick your target. If you've got a differential of 4 or more, you can attack it. You can bypass folks and attack them. So he already has the ability to bypass. He can attack anyone because he has freedom of action. So this fighter is really not a threat on the last turn. He's experienced. He's got an 8. None of my guys are flipped. So I think I'll skip him because I want to protect the airfield. So I can come after this IL-2 that doesn't have a tail gunner. And with 6 damage, so my gondola would probably, if it hits him, it's going to shred him. He's probably going to be shot down. This guy's not flipped, and his dorsal gunner was knocked out earlier, so he's sitting at 4 damage. And we've got this guy with 7 damage and another fighter with 9. So this fighter is the lowest one on the board, so he can't attack anyone. So he's not really a threat, but he's easily shot down. So what I decided to do is I decided to come after this IL-2. Because he can't shoot me, and he's the biggest threat for the airfield because he is because he's undamaged. Sadly, I missed on my attack, so he had to stay here because he's now a potential target. So now the next person to go would be this veteran pilot, and I chose to play my pick your target card, which allows him to, anyone he's 4 higher than, he can attack. And so I chose for him to attack the same guy. And sadly, he also missed. So now these 2 had to stay here. That left my gondola experienced pilot, who has to attack this gentleman. And he scored 2 hits and flipped him, but he didn't shoot him down. And since there's no one higher than him, his turn would be done. Now I was left with another choice. He gets to go first. He can either attack this pilot, or he can go head-to-head with this pilot. I don't have any more dogfight cards that he can use. The other 2 I have are defensive in nature. So I chose for him to attack head-to-head because I was counting on the airfield's rolling three die for flak, hoping that the airfield would be able to shoot this guy down, because this was the biggest threat, and I missed him. So I went head to head and attacked him. Sadly, I missed, and he actually damaged me. And so that put both of them to their turn complete. That left this guy who I bypassed and didn't attack because he was on his damaged side already, and he was only experienced. He attacked the airfield and actually got shot down. So these two can no longer be attacked, and their turn was over. So then I proceeded on with the rest.